Hello, everyone. Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Let me give everybody a second to get in here today. Welcome to another review day that I found this dude. And this is a good one because it's going to give you guys the perspective that I'm trying my best to translate to most, okay? Trying to get my best to do my best to translate debt-free to people who are in debt. Okay, this is the best way I can try to describe it to you. And I do things for those of you that have been in debt all your life. Okay, you are trapped in what's called the debt matrix. Okay, and if you've been in debt all your life, you only speak debt. I promise you, and I can prove it. Everything I'm saying to you, I can mathematically prove to you. Okay. I can prove that there's two languages when it comes to money, debt and debt free. If you've been in debt all your life, you only speak debt. Okay. And you are trapped in the debt matrix. And what I do is I expose what I call glitches in the debt matrix. Now, glitches in the debt matrix are things that don't make mathematical sense, but yet you keep doing them. Okay. Here's another one that ties these things together so you guys will get it. For those of you that might not believe what I say, okay? So, and try to remove your feelings from it. Try to remove your feelings. Only pay attention to the mathematics, okay? Now, if math didn't exist, we as human beings would be unable to count money. I mean, we wouldn't even know what to do. We would just hold the paper in our hands and won't even know we know now what numbers are on the bills, but if we didn't have mathematics, we wouldn't even know what those are. So math and money are one. Okay, we couldn't count money. We couldn't count money without math. Okay, so knowing this right now, add up all your savings and add up all your debt. Savings minus debt equals how much money you have in real life. Yes, including your student loans. Yes, including your mortgages. Yes, including your collections. Yes, including that cell phone bill that you didn't pay for. Every bit of that counts. Okay, every bit of it. Now, that usually is going to be a very large negative number. Okay. Now, knowing math and money are one, and you see that negative number, you got to ask yourself, how come I don't believe that number? How come I don't believe I am broke? How come I don't believe I have no money? Okay. You know the math is true, but yet you still don't believe it. So that's the glitch in the debt matrix. And all you got to do to get out of the debt matrix, you just got to believe in mathematics. That's it. Once you believe in mathematics, you'll be free. All right, here we go. Hello, best version. Hyphy, what's up? Welcome, welcome. What's up? Was listening to the millionaire video yesterday and then got your notification. Let's talk. Okay. You let me know. Let me know. Juan says, is FHA loan feasible over paying rent? All right, Juan, we're going to go into a video first, Juan. And this is a video review. So when you're going to watch this, and it's got to do with FHA. All right. Now, the guy I'm going to review right now, please pay attention. I'm not saying he's bad. I'm not saying he's stupid. I'm not saying what he's saying is wrong. I'm not saying he's a thief. I'm not saying he's doing anything illegal. He's for this particular subject, he is telling you the truth. Okay. Everything he's saying is true. I want you to understand that. Everything he's saying is true. He's not wrong. He's not stupid. I'm not here to bang a hammer over his head and say, you're wrong, you're wrong. No. I'm going to point out that when you're in debt, you can't hear certain things and you can't see certain things. Okay. And this video, we're going to go through this video so I can show you the other side that you cannot see. There's two sides to all financial stories. I promise you, there's two sides. Now we're going to go through this video and I'm going to expose to you the part that you are not seeing because you are in debt. All right. Now I'm not going to be answering any questions during the text, guys. We're going to get into this video so you can hear it. Okay. Let me get this thing set. All right. 1 second here. Share screen. All right. Now the link to the entire video is in the description. All right, so we're going to go through this. Whoops, let me get that out the way. We're going to go through this video and I'm going to point out the things that when you're in debt, you can't hear it, because if you knew the real purpose of FHA mortgages, you would never in your life sign up for one ever. But when you're in debt, you can't hear or see it. All right, so here we go.
Kyle here with KyleSeagraves.com. My goal is to help you get a crystal clear home loan that helps you win the house you love. So in today's video,
okay, right off the bat, I want you guys to understand something. Okay, now I'm translating from debt to debt free. Okay, and then when it comes to your money, it's only mathematics. So there's really no feelings to be involved in your money ever, because you wouldn't be upset that 5 + 5 = 10. Okay. Now, right off the bat, he says, hey, I'm here to help you win the home of your dreams. Winning has nothing to do with it. You either have the money for the house or you don't. Winning just sounds good. It sounds good to people who are in debt. Ooh, I can win the house. No, you can't really win anything. You got to save up the money and buy the house properly. All right, right off the bat.
Video we're talking about the requirements for FHA loans. If you watched the previous video on conventional versus FHA, you might have decided FHA is the option for you. And FHA loans are fantastic loans. They're actually a program created by the government some years ago to help.
FHA loans are not good. They're not good at all. And you'll know as we go further in this video. FHA home loans, Federal Housing Administration, what they did was come up with a lot of money so they can make the economy grow somehow by giving loans to people they know that cannot afford homes, but they still believe they can, even though they don't have their own money. I'm trying to put this in words so I can make sure it sounds right to you guys, because I'm telling you what is, all right? And so what they do is the bank still loans the money to the person with the FHA, but it goes through the FHA. The FHA is you. That's why you guys, when you have FHA mortgages, you have a PMI, private mortgage insurance, or mortgage insurance premiums. MIP is the same thing. They just like to switch the letters around. And that's extra money, not for you, but this collects in this pool. So when you guys default on your FHA mortgage, the bank is paid in full by the pot of money that they got from you while you're in this FHA mortgage. So the bank never loses. That's why you can have horrible credit scores. Okay, so let's continue.
Mainly, people get into home ownership for the first time. So they were one of the first-time home buyer programs. But now FHA has morphed into such a large program that so many lenders carry that it's not just for first-time home buyers. And FHA has really great requirements and rules on how you can get the FHA loan that make it really accessible for a lot of people. There's a lot of pros. There's also some cons, and we'll talk mainly about some of the requirements for getting an FHA loan. So right up front, the two big things that people are concerned about when we're talking about requirements is how much money do I have to put down, and what does my credit score have to be? So first of all, how much money do I have to put down? FHA will allow you to do a minimum down payment of 3.5% as long as your credit score is 580 and above.
All right. Did you hear that? They'll let you put that, at least they will put you as little down, 3.5% down on the house. And as long as your score is 580 and above, which is horrible. Okay. If your credit score is that low, that means you are deep in debt and you're not paying your bills on time. You're deep in debt. That's the very reason why you can't pay your bills, because there's not enough money to go to everybody, but you don't know that. Okay. So you believe FHA sounds good. It's good, sounds good to you. It is sound good for you to you because it's geared for people who are in bad shape. That's why the low credit score and the little money down, because if you got that kind of credit score, you have no money. That's why FHA mortgages are attractive to you. It's not attractive to people that understand money. That's the worst type of loan ever to get, ever. But people do it every day because it's attractive to the majority whom are in debt.
Okay, so that is one of the lowest down payments that you can get outside of conventional. Sometimes can go down to 3%. USDA will do 0%, and VA will do 0%. But 3.5% down is a fantastic option if you have a credit score of 580 and above, which most people do. If you have a credit score of less than 580 down to 500, you'll be required to put 10% down, and you might have some extra reserve requirements, which means you need some extra money in the bank to close on the loan.
Now, what that really means is this on the other side. If your credit is even worse than the 580, if you're even worse than the 580, you got to put more down. Why? Because they're going to get more of your money right up front, because the likelihood of you ever paying that house off in 30 years is slim to none. So since you got more, since your score is even horrible than that, they're going to get more money from you up front. And that money, once you give it to them, it's gone. So you lose that chunk of money and you lose this house that you never really got, because people believe that a mortgage, let alone a FHA mortgage, any type of mortgage makes them a homeowner. Not according to mathematics. That's not true. That's not true. So can you imagine an FHA mortgage? Holy moly. You're never, ever going to own that house, but you don't know that because that's why you're attracted to this FHA mortgage.
Also with FHA, the requirements in terms of how much debt you can have versus how much income you can have are a lot more lenient than conventional loans. So conventional loans tend to be a little bit strict on what your credit score looks like. Normally conventional loans like a higher credit score, and they want you to have a lower debt to income ratio, which basically means how much monthly debt obligation do you have divided by your total income.
If you guys can hear what he's saying when you're outside the debt matrix, if you can literally hear what he's saying. Now, I don't know if he really knows or he's just doing what he's been told, but it's just so funny what they're saying, man. They're just saying if you ain't got no money, you're just horrible with money, your credit's bad, you're gonna get done.
So FHA will allow us to go up to 56% most of the time. So you probably don't know your.
Now he's talking about DTI, debt to income ratio. Okay, so the bank came up with this formula. Whatever, some kind of formula for people in debt. That's why it's called debt to income ratio, right? When you're out of debt, that ratio no longer applies to you, okay? It's just a made up ratio that the banks made up. And they said, hey, this is how we determine how much money you have left before we squeeze you out and toss you to the sharks. Okay, the big boys, the big banks got a debt to income ratio. They know how much they're going to squeeze every last dime out of you by this ratio, because if you don't know your money and you letting some separate entity dictate your debt to income ratio, how they know? How come you don't know? But if you don't understand that, you're going to go by theirs. And theirs is designed to squeeze every last penny out of you. Once they know you're just every last dime that they're going to bother with to get out of you, then they toss you to the sharks. All the subprime lenders out there. Woo. They just pick you apart. You got just like scraps of meat left on your bones after they get a hold of you. Once they get a hold of you, you are toast.
Your debt to income ratio offhand, but 56 is a pretty high number.
Yes, it is.
If you took your income times 0.56, that's how much monthly debt you could carry every single month, including your housing payment. It's pretty high.
You guys, those are made up numbers, okay? He's just making up numbers. People have no idea where those numbers come from. The average, this and that, those are made up numbers. If you believe you fall into that category, and if you are in debt, you fall into that category he's talking about. He's talking about the average. The average person in debt. That's who he's talking to. He's not talking to people like me. He's not talking to me or people like me. He's not talking, because that language makes no sense. It doesn't make any mathematical sense what he's saying at all.
Out there, which means that if you have a good amount of debt or maybe student loans, FHA might be a really great option for you because it allows some more leniency in their
the words they use.
Maybe income on the lower side. Maybe you're in a high cost area and you need a little bit more flexibility.
Here, let me translate to you, okay? They know you're broke, okay? And you've had a student loan that's older than your children. They know right there off the bat, you're never going to pay. If you haven't paid off your student loan in 20 years, you're not going to pay a house off in 30, okay? They know that. So they're being more, I like the word lenient. They're just seeing where they can just get you in this house, drain every last dime from you, and kick you to the sharks.
FHA does not have as strong requirements on that debt to income ratio.
No, they don't.
So then that brings us to student loans. Student loans are a big debt that we're seeing kind of sweeping across the nation, and
kind of seeing sweeping across the nation. That's been here for over almost 100 years. I mean, not 100 years, probably about over 50 years. There's people in their 60s and 70s paying off the student loan debt. Okay, it just didn't sweep across. The things they say to people in debt make no sense. They be cracked. They just say things. You know what they do? They make it sound nice for people in debt, so it's just not as harsh, right? It hasn't just swept the country. It's $1.6 trillion in student loan debt right now. That's like 45 million people. Okay. It didn't just sweep the country. There are people with student loans that are older than their children. There are parents out there with student loans that they've had all their life, and then they go and get a Parent Plus loan, burying themselves even deeper in debt, just carrying on the tradition. All right. This is why FHA mortgages, if you fall into that category, this is why FHA mortgages sound good to you, because you have no money and you have horrible credit.
Student loans, how do they affect you with an FHA loan?
How do they? If you don't pay that student loan off, you'll die with it. That's how they affect you.
So your student loans are either going to report a monthly minimum cost on your credit report. And if it doesn't, so if your loans are deferred or in forbearance, then what will happen is your lender will take 1% of your balance and use that as your monthly payment. So for instance, let's say you had $10,000 in student loans, and it was deferred until next year. What your lender would do,
what would he do?
Take that 10,000, multiply it times 1%.
Why would he do that?
And then use that as part of your debt income ratio.
Why is he doing that? Why is he adding money in there and come up with this 1% of my student loan? Why is he adding that in there? Know why? Because you're not. That's why he's adding in there. And since you don't know, he's going to make you pay for it. FHA mortgages are only for people that cannot afford homes, because if you understood money, if you knew how money worked, if you knew how to manage your money properly, you wouldn't touch an FHA mortgage with a 10-foot freaking pole. Did you hear what I said? You wouldn't even touch it.
If there wasn't like a minimum payment showing up on the report. Also, some requirements with FHA loans, they're a little bit more strict in terms of what the property is allowed to look like, and not how it looks cosmetically, but FHA is really concerned about property requirements.
They are.
When it comes to what they call health and safety standards.
So that sounds nice.
Loans are a lot more lenient on
smooth.
What you buy. For example, most people will buy foreclosed properties with a conventional loan.
Yeah.
But FHA is more strict, and they want to make sure that everything in the home meets their health and safety standards. So that means,
why?
You can't have things like missing rails on steps.
Let me translate that for you guys. Since you get an FHA mortgage, that means you have no money. And if you got the house, you would have even less money, because if you had no money right now without a mortgage, can you imagine how drastically your funds are going to deplete with a mortgage? Okay, so that means you're not going to have the money to fix any of those things. right? So they're not going to let you buy the house with their money on repairs that you're never going to have money to fix. So they make sure it's up to standard before they get you the money, because again, you don't have any money. That's why you're getting an FHA mortgage. And since you don't have any money, you will never have any money to make those repairs. So that's not the investment for them. Okay, that's what it is on the outside of the debt matrix. All right.
You can't have chipping paint, can't have broken windows. You cannot have things rotting or things torn down. You need to make sure that the home has no health and safety issues. And if there's any possibility of it, then an FHA appraiser is going to call it out and want it fixed before you moved in. So it's something to be aware of. There is an FHA loan called a 203K that allows you to do some rehab, but that involves,
you better not touch that one either,
traditional FHA. So if we're sticking to traditional FHA, property requirements are a little bit more strict on the FHA side. Your realtor and mortgage advisor can help you navigate some of those restrictions as well.
Now, if you're just jumping into this video, I'm not saying anything negative about this man. I'm only pointing out the things that he's saying. Nothing he's saying is incorrect for those who are in debt. He's only talking to people who are in debt. Okay, he's not talking to people like me or people like me. He's only talking to people in debt. So what he's saying is true for them. But I'm just telling you what he's saying doesn't make mathematical sense. So I'm just pointing these things out to you, okay?
As far as asset requirements for FHA loans, so how much money do you have to have in the bank? FHA allows you to take all of the funds needed as a gift. So for instance, if your down payment and closing costs, let's say the whole thing together is going to cost you 10 grand out of pocket, you are allowed to get a gift from a family member for that entire.
They are. All right, listen. Okay, listen. All right, listen. They are allowing you to add your families into this freaking nightmare nonsense. They are allowing you to take money from all your friends to participate in this nonsense, okay? Because again, listen, people with FHA mortgages, they don't have money. Because if you had money, you wouldn't need any help from anybody. Okay, you wouldn't need it. You have the money yourself, right? But since you don't have the money and they know you don't have the money, they allow you to, your friends and your family, to participate and gift you money to be part of this stupid nonsense. All this money is going to be gone. It's going to be completely gone. That's why this is attractive to those who are in debt with horrible credit scores. That's why.
Amount. Some loan products don't let you get a gift for all this. Sometimes they want a certain requirement in there, but you're allowed to get a gift for the full amount of the down payment and closing costs as well. And finally, one of the biggest drawbacks is the mortgage insurance requirement on FHA loans. So they're fantastic loans.
Here it comes. Listen, you guys, here it comes. Here it comes. Here's the whammy.
But what happens is FHA loans are given out by lenders across the nation, but the federal government is the one who backs these loans. It's
the federal government. The federal government is you. Okay, remember that. It's not no separate entity. It's you. All right, listen.
It's called a insured loan, which means that the government makes sure that if the lenders ever have to foreclose on a property, that they'll get their money back because the government insures it.
Wow.
So the person who has to foot the bill for the insurance is you, unfortunately. And that comes in two ways. The first way is there's an upfront mortgage insurance premium.
Hey, you guys, listen. They are telling you right to your face. Okay, if you have an FHA mortgage right now, they are telling you right to your face. Okay, if you default on your mortgage, if you lose your FHA home mortgage, right? Guess what? You're paying the bank back. You guys are. You're paying the bank back. That's why they allow you guys. That's why the bank gives the FHA the money, because if you mess up, FHA pays off the bank. The bank cannot lose. They can't lose. Okay. They're winners.
So all that means is you take your initial loan amount, let's say it was $100,000. FHA is going to charge 1.75% added to the loan. So instead of having a loan for $100,000, you now have a loan for $101,750.
Gotcha.
Okay, so that's one thing to keep in mind. And then you also have to pay monthly mortgage insurance.
What?
Over the life of the loan. That
What?
mortgage insurance will not fall off unless you put 10% down.
Now, if a mortgage broker sat down in front of a person with money and told them anything like that, oh yeah, by the way, we're going to charge you a fee through the life of the loan, we would just get up and walk out the bank. We'd be like, what? You think I'm going to give you free money for what? For that thing? Are you crazy? And then we'll just leave, because that would be an insult. It's like them just slapping us in our face. Oh yeah, you're going to pay for this because we said so. Really? No, I'm not. I'm not paying anything like that, not even close. But people in debt do.
If you put 10% down, then the mortgage insurance will drop off after 11 years. But if you put any less than 10% down, mortgage insurance will be there for the entire duration of the loan.
PMI, MIP will be there through the 30-year life of the loan. That is absolutely free money. And you see the way they named it? Private mortgage insurance. They are good, you guys. They are good. Okay, they're good. I promise you. Private mortgage insurance. Now, the average person in debt will hear the word insurance and believe it's like car insurance or healthcare insurance, right? You think insurance is for you. It's not for you. It's for the bank. God, these guys are good, man. When you're outside the debt matrix, this is so crystal clear. Oh my God, right in my face, right? So this is what they do. All right. This is another one I noticed too. Now, PMI, people are starting to get hip to PMI. So this is what they did. They took the PMI, PMI. Okay, PMI, and then they took the P and skipped it over the M and I and put it at the end. Now they call it MIP, mortgage insurance premiums, to throw people off when it's the same thing.
So you have this really great flexibility. It comes at the cost of mortgage insurance. But then another pro to offset some of the cost of the mortgage insurance is, since it's backed by the government, you usually can get really low interest rates than any other loans on the market. Okay, so the reason why the interest rates are lower is because
compared to what? What are you comparing that to?
The lenders have less risk of losing their money, since
they have no risk. They have no risk because you guys, the people in debt, insure them with PMI, MIP. They have no. Why do they say low risk? They have no risk.
The loans are insured. So if you get an FHA loan, that interest rate should be a lot lower than anything else you're seeing on the conventional side. So if you are going with an FHA loan, make sure that it's, it has a low interest rate, because you're going to be paying that mortgage insurance.
But you look at the low interest rate, whatever that is to you, right? And then you add up all those fees and stuff that are wrapped up inside an FHA mortgage. Oh my God. But listen, you guys. Okay. When you run a credit application, right, they're gonna base your monthly income, your monthly payment on your gross income, money that you're not even gonna get. You're already upside down. You even got the house keys in your hand yet, right? And if you got horrible credit, a student loan, credit cards, and then you get an FHA mortgage, you will never own that home ever. So here you'll be walking around calling yourself a homeowner, thinking you got a great interest rate, but all the fees and stuff you cannot see, you are toast.
These costs to offset each other a little bit. You can't be paying a lot in mortgage insurance with the upfront and the monthly mortgage insurance, plus paying a high interest rate. So
you're gonna do them a favor.
Keep in mind. Overall, FHA loan requirements are pretty lenient, as far as
there's that word again, lenient.
Traditional loan. It's hard to find any other loan that is going to be more lax in its requirements, unless you're going into something like a portfolio loan, which has really high interest rates, probably around 7%. Those are loans where you can do like 1 day out of bankruptcy, or
1 day out of bankruptcy,
no income stated type loans. You could do those loans and they have more lax requirements, but they cost you a lot more. FHA is a fantastic option if you're looking into getting a loan in the easiest way possible. The best way to figure out if it's the right loan for you is to talk with your mortgage advisor and see what options do you have available, and can you compare the cost of the conventional versus the FHA if you qualify for both, and what's going to be the total cost over a period of time. The requirements for an FHA loan really are not too terrible. Usually what you're going to find is that 3.5% down. You need to make sure the home is pretty much ready to move in. You're also going to have those mortgage insurance requirements, and you're a lot more lenient on the requirements of debt and income that you're allowed.
All right, that's enough. I had enough. All right, let me get into this chat, answer some questions. Now, again, if you're new to my channel, look at me as not just like a regular financial advisor. Look at me as a conscious financial educator. Let's put it that way. Look at me as a very conscious, aware financial educator. Okay. And with that and everything, and remember this, if you follow me, I know you're new. If you're new to my channel, check it out. If you never heard if you've never heard anybody speak like me, or you don't know my credentials or whatever, this is the only thing I want you to do. Okay. If you feel yourself getting your feelings involved, always pay attention to the math. Okay. Everything I say, I'm gonna just give you guys the hint. Everything I say, I can back up with mathematics. Okay. Now, if you get your feelings involved in it and you start getting upset of what I'm saying, what I'm doing, how I'm doing it, always go back to the math and then say to yourself, if his math is right, how come I'm upset? How come I'm mad that 5 + 5 = 10? How come I'm upset that 20 + 20 = 40? How come I'm bothered by that? Okay. It's just mathematics. All right. Juan, is FHA feasible over paying rent? Nope. Cash or refinance FHA? Juan says cash or refinance. I would refinance out of an FHA to the best top rate conventional mortgage on the market. What up, Mark? Reese, hello. R. Carp, hello. Life for a business. What do you think about setting up an emergency fund before getting rid of debt? You must set up an emergency fund first. An emergency fund of $1,000. I agree with Dave Ramsey. $1,000. Okay. You must start with $1,000 emergency fund. That's the first thing you do. Quentin, hello. What's up? Quentin says, greetings, SMD family. Mark says, got to have the doc back on. Need to know more about REIT. I think the doc's in here right now. Dr. Meadows is in here right now, I believe. Nonstop Dre says, good afternoon. You always come on when I'm in the gym. I love it. Cool. Best version. Dre put in that work. Juan Sean says, how do you get rid of the PMI on one of those loans? Refinance out of it into a conventional loan. That's how you get rid of it. Nonstop Dre says, that's dumb. 3%. Just don't buy a house you can't afford. Shaking my head. That's Nonstop. That's how they stimulate the economy. That's how they get money flowing. They start lowering interest rates, creating vehicles like FHA mortgages, VA mortgages, all that stuff for people that cannot afford homes, but can't do the mathematics or refuse to do, not even say can't, I say choosing not to do the mathematics to see that that's clearly true, that they cannot. So that's how they stimulate the economy. I'm not hating on it. I can clearly see how it works. This is a must. There must be people out there that only can get FHA mortgages, VA loans, all those subprime mortgages. The majority must get those type of loans for this whole thing to work. Okay. Juan says, my payment is $870. Juan says, without PMI, I'd be at like $400 or $500. I'm sure there's way more stuff in that FHA mortgage paperwork that you have. I bet you there's way more fees than that. Because I promise you, Juan, and this is not even talking negative about you. I'm just saying something mathematically to you. Only people that don't understand how money works would ever touch an FHA mortgage. Only people that don't understand it. And people, like, for example, this is what I would do. If I saw somebody deciding to get an FHA mortgage, the first thing I'm going to do is look at their personal credit report. Not their credit score, their entire credit report. And I guarantee you they're in debt. That's why they're choosing an FHA mortgage. I can just look at the credit report. The personal credit report would tell me everything I know, because people that are in debt, they have no idea they're in debt. Okay. They don't know they live there. Okay. Even though math can clearly show them that. I mean, you can tell a person, walk up to a person and say, hey, you know, you're not a homeowner if you have a mortgage. They will argue with you. Even though you can do the math and show them that that's not true, they still will argue with you. That's a must. Why would a person believe they're a homeowner, but it takes them 30 years to become one? Really? Why do people believe that? I don't know. That's just, they're just choosing not to. It's not even nothing personal. They're just choosing not to use mathematics. That's it. Okay, that's the only difference between the rich and the not rich, the wealthy and the not wealthy. The wealthy trust mathematics, and the people that are not wealthy don't. That's it. Nothing spectacular. Juan says, my goal is gonna get rid of it somehow, then pay off the house sooner. Okay, all right. I just tell you this, Juan. You must first get out of debt before you even try that. Don't even Juan, add up all your savings. Add up all your debt, including your mortgage, including your student loans if you have them, collections, all that, right? And then go savings minus debt equals how much money you have to pay off your house early. Okay? Savings minus debt equals how much money you have to pay off your house early. So now you tell me, how early are you going to be paying off your house? Nonstop Dre says, I'm so happy I've come across your channel at 23. Keep speaking the truth. Hey, Nonstop Dre, I'm telling you this, son. I'm not even saying anything fancy. I want you to understand, I'm not doing anything spectacular. I'm not saying I'm smarter than anybody. I'm not saying I'm the almighty finance god that's been sent down from heaven. No, I trust mathematics. That's it. That's the only thing I'm doing. I believe in math. Like, let me tell you guys something right now. When I was financing cars, okay, I didn't wake up till age 40. I'm 50 right now. I didn't wake up till age 40 out of the debt matrix. I financed plenty of cars in my lifetime. Plenty of cars. Just fine. Because I thought it was normal. I thought it was the thing to do. I thought that's how you get a car, right? I did not know, but every time I financed a car, I was financing the taxes too. So I was financing the car because I didn't have the money for the car. That's the very reason why I was financing the car. Since I didn't have the money for the car, I definitely didn't have the money for the taxes. So I was financing the taxes too. I was paying two taxes. One I could see and one I was financing. I didn't see that before. But had I done mathematics, I would have clearly saw that. I would have clearly saw they was judging my payment going by my gross income. I would have clearly saw that. I would have been like, why are they going by my gross income? I don't even get that money. Why are they going by that? Why are they? I don't know. Math will clearly show you that that's wrong. Don't do that. But I wasn't paying attention to it, so I skipped it just like everybody. But listen, this is a necessary evil. The majority must keep doing that. They must keep doing that. On anything people finance, they're financing the taxes too. They have no idea they're getting taxed twice. I didn't know that. I did not know that. I did not see that. Had I done the mathematics, I would have clearly saw I was been, oh, wait a minute. If I don't have the money for the item, I definitely don't have the money for the taxes. So I got to finance the taxes too. Yes, you do, Linnell. Then I'm not doing it. TJ Momo says, makes sense. Thank you. Juan Sean says, guess I'll refinance when my credit score is better. You think you can refinance and remove PMI without a new down payment? I'm sure there's closing costs, but I'm sure that won't be much. I have no idea. But all I'm saying is this: get out of that FHA mortgage. I'll tell you that right now. You better get out of it. You're getting done. Big time. You're getting done. And you don't even know it. All you got to do is do the math. Tell you what, go to a lender and run some numbers against your FHA mortgage compared to a traditional conventional mortgage right now. This year, 2020, run it against the best conventional rated mortgage on the market right now. And then you tell me if FHA mortgage is bad. That's all you got to do. Don't even take my word for it. If you don't even believe me, just go run the numbers. Pay somebody to do it. It'd be worth it. Trust me. Juan Sean says it's a insurance and interest required for purchases, including cars. Every contract you sign gives leverage to the other party. Yeah, you got your regular insurance. PMI, private mortgage insurance, has nothing to do with your regular house insurance. That's a whole separate payment. One's for the bank and one's for you. You pay for your own and you pay for the bank's. You're paying for your own home insurance, and then you're paying for the bank's insurance for that on that money on that house. You're paying two insurance. You're getting taxed twice in many things. People don't know it. Vest Doc says, good info. Thank you, sir. Much appreciated. Nisha says, hello, SMD family, LJ, BVM, Mark, everybody's name. Hello, Quentin. Nonstop Dre says, FHA loan is like a backhand slap in the face and a kick in the groin. It is. It's an insult. But let me tell you guys something, okay? If you walked into the bank with good credit, no debt, and 20% or more plus down for a house that you're looking to buy, they wouldn't even insult you with an FHA mortgage. They wouldn't even insult you, but that would be an insult because they would know that you know. If you're not in debt going to buy a house, they know you know never to buy a house when you're in debt. Ever. Don't ever do that. That doesn't make any sense. TJ Momo says, yeah, I just found out I have PMI. Don't worry about it, TJ. Many people have not a clue. Consider yourself a step ahead of the rest of the people in FHA mortgages. Because I guarantee you this, TJ, go ask one of your friends that you know have an FHA mortgage also. All you got to do is ask how much they put down. If they say anything less than 20%, you pretty much know they have an FHA mortgage. If they say, oh, I didn't have to hardly put anything down, you know exactly what type of mortgage they have. And then ask them, hey, do you have PMI? They probably won't even know. What about MIP? They probably won't even know that. They just don't know. Count yourself one step ahead that you just now, even though you just found out, now you know. Now it's gonna start to snowball. You're gonna see how much you're paying and all that other stuff, and then you're gonna get tired of it. Okay. Juan Sean says they only require a 580 credit score for an FHA loan. Yeah, people with no money. That's why they do that. They are trying to attract people that don't understand money. That's why they have a 580 score. That makes total sense to me. That makes total sense to me. People, this is how I read. Now, I'm going to read this one out loud so you guys can understand. They only require a 580 credit score for FHA loan. They only want people with bad credit to finance something that they can't own it. They'll never own in the first place, so we might as well get money out of them now. That's how that reads to me. James Stokes says, if you pay PMI, then how do you lose the house? They get paid and you still have that on your credit report as a foreclosure if the PMI pays off the mortgage. Exactly, James Stokes. All the above is correct. How is that? They only do that to people who are in debt. It makes, I can tell what you're writing, right? It makes no sense. How can they do this if this is that and this is not? Exactly. It doesn't make mathematical sense. That's why they're geared to FHA mortgages. It makes absolutely no sense. Let me read that out to you guys one more time so you can hear it, because it doesn't make any sense, right? If you pay PMI, then how do you lose the house? They get paid and you still have that on your credit report as a foreclosure if the PMI pays off the mortgage? Yes. Doesn't make any sense. The bank gets paid. They get the full price of the house. You lose it. Foreclosure goes on your record and you still probably owe them money. That's it. It makes no sense, but it makes total sense to people with bad credit, I guess. I don't know. Is it dumb to borrow from your 401k? I'm gonna put it this way, because when I give you my answers, I want it to make mathematical sense to you, Amal. Okay? Add up all your savings. Add up all your debt. Savings minus debt equals the reason why you're borrowing from your future to pay for your present. Add up all your savings, Add up all your debt. Savings minus debt equals the reason why you're borrowing from your future to pay for your present. See how I did that? See, did I do anything fancy? Did I confuse anybody with that answer? And if I have, I want you guys to say yes. Somebody, if that sounds confusing to you, please tell me so I can say it even more clear. Now, I'm not saying it in a way to make anybody in this room sound dumb. Okay, please don't confuse me by my demeanor saying that. I'm trying to show you how simple this is. That's it. Now, did everybody understand how I responded to all? Did that make sense to you? Thank you, Snuggles. Appreciate it. Juan, I thought PMI was principal mortgage insurance. Nope. Private mortgage insurance. Private mortgage insurance. Nope. They should call it PFI, prepaid foreclosure insurance, because when you default on your loan and you get ready to get kicked out, most people in debt think, oh man, they can't kick me out in a year. It's going to take them the year to get me out. Now they don't know they've already paid for that year. They paid for the sheriff to kick them out. The whole year they're going to live in that they think they're living in it for free. They've already paid for it. They just don't know it. All up front. Through the life of the whole time they live there. And then when they stop, that year's paid. That's why they take their time to kicking you out. That's why it's no rush. You've already paid for it. Nonstop Dre says, I love how the guy said the house you love, not the house you can afford. You can win the house you love, using all these words that mean absolutely nothing. The math says, what is win? What's that mean? Love. Math says, what's love? What does that add up to? Nothing. Jerry says they're promoting NACA instead of FHA, which is worse. Never heard of NACA. Okay, cool. I appreciate that. Thank you for letting me know that, because I do want you guys to win, man. I want you guys to feel what it's like over here on outside the debt matrix, being totally financially free. Nobody, let me tell you something. You get out of debt. I'm gonna just reiterate this. Nobody will be able to mess with you financially. Nobody can mess with me. This is it. And I know people that look at me and they're like, how do you know that? Because my math will always be right. I keep explaining this to people. How do you know nobody can mess with you, Linnell? Because math says so. Math says to me, Linnell, if you stick with me, you will always win with money. So I believe it. That's it. That is it. Like right now, let me tell you something. People that believe they're contributing to their 401k right now, the people that believe it, right? Listen, add up all your savings. If this is you, add up all your savings, add up all your debt. Yes, including your student loans, car payments, credit cards, collections, mortgage, all that. And then go savings minus debt equals how much money you have to contribute towards your retirement. Now, if that number is in the negative, I want you to ask yourself, if my finances are in the negative, how in the hell am I contributing to my retirement? Exactly. You figure that answer out, you will be rich. Jerry says, my friend just bought a $160,000 house using the NACA. I got to look up NACA. I don't know what that is, but if it's tied with an FHA, it's bad news. With $100,000 in student loan debt because they said a mortgage was cheaper than rent. This is what I say. Hey, math, what's mortgage cheaper than rent? Math says, I don't know what that means. Math says, I have no idea what that means. And anybody that comes up to you and says something like that, mortgage is cheaper than rent, I want you to say, this is the first question I need you to ask them. Let me see your personal credit report, because you got to understand the source of this information. If somebody's in debt trying to give you information, they're giving you from a debt perspective. Their credit report their personal credit report will never lie to you. It's tied to their social security number. They can never change it. And if they don't know they're in debt, it doesn't matter what they say. Look at their personal credit report and will tell you everything you need to know about that person financially. Juan says, you heard of home loan modifications? Nope. Nicer said, is a mobile home considered a house or private property? Um, a mobile home that means you have something on a piece of land that maybe you own. Maybe, I don't know, but if you own it, you own it. Okay, don't even separate. Try not to separate a mobile home from a regular house, because I know people with mortgages and houses try to look down on people that live in mobile homes. But don't fall for the facade. Okay, that's the facade. Don't you worry about what other people think. The majority of people, those are their prisons. They're trapped in them homes. The only thing they can do is talk about somebody that might own a mobile home sitting on a nice piece of land, out of debt, clear, debt free, compared to this person that's trying to look down on them. Don't you be fooled by that. Wealthy is not a look. TV is fooling you. Okay. Don't think in your mind that a rich person looks a certain way. Do not be fooled by that. Because I guarantee you this, once you step out the debt matrix, there are wealthy people that you would never think in a million years that they're wealthy. You would never know that. And that's exactly how they want it. That's exactly how they want it. They don't want you to know. There's no reason to even show you. Why would there be any reason, if you're really, really wealthy, to show a bunch of broke people that you got money? I would never do that. What would be the purpose of that? None. There would be no purpose of that. There's absolutely no reason for it. I don't care where broke people think I live. I don't care what kind of car broke people believe I should be driving, or I do drive. Doesn't matter what they think. People that are in debt I don't even hear them. Let alone, I don't even see them. I don't even see people in debt. As soon as they start opening their mouths talking debt, I just totally ignore them. Employers used to pay for retirement. Now they only match 5% per check. Yeah. I mean, this is how I look at that. Okay. Once out of debt, I can see a lot of things. So, of course, by the employer creating a retirement plan, obviously they get some tax breaks somewhere. Okay. They do because they're not cheap to create. And so once they create them, they get some tax cut. They get some tax cuts, right? It's got to be. I don't know that for a fact, but it just makes sense to me. Okay. And now if you got a bunch of people, because sometimes they do it mandatory. Okay. Some places do it automatically. Now, people in debt believe that's a good thing, that they do it automatically for them. Like, hey, my company cares about me. They're starting a retirement plan for me, right? So it's mandatory. But if you add up all your savings and add up all your debt, savings minus debt equals how much money you have to contribute to retirement. If you're in debt, you're really not contributing anything. You just believe you are. But the more you contribute, it's a benefit to the business because the fund gets bigger. You know, it's a lot of pieces in there. But if you're in debt, you're really not contributing anything. You are just kind of like making your employer more money without really knowing it consciously. It's cheaper in the short term, not in long term. Nicer says, I was wondering if I bought a mobile home, would I have to pay property tax and all that stuff you have to pay with that? Oh yeah, because you got to put it on some land. So either you're going to own that piece of land or the owner is going to pay the taxes on that land. Somebody's paying taxes. Okay. So if you own the land, it's going to be you. If you put your mobile home on somebody else's land, they're paying the taxes, but they're probably going to add those taxes to the rent. So in actuality, you're going to be paying for that person's land. Because once you create your own business, you can legally never pay taxes. Like for the example I just gave you, you put your mobile home on somebody else's piece of property, he has to legally pay tax. But if he's smart, he'll include those taxes into your rent. So that way he's legally never paying taxes. You're paying them for him. See what I'm saying? Quentin, in your opinion, why do you think Dave Ramsey don't agree with people buying a mobile home? I honestly think Dave Ramsey goes to that point because he's just talking about like property value. You know, I get what he's saying, why he says that. Don't get me wrong. He's saying it's not going to appreciate like a house. You know what I'm saying? But if you need to start there, start there. Okay. Don't worry about what other people think or say. Don't worry about that. Because if you get a mobile home, who says you're going to be living there forever? Just start it out. It gets you, buy a piece of land and then put your mobile home on it. Then you pay for it and you own it outright. And then you keep working, stack your money. And then all of a sudden you can move out, right? Move out, buy you a house, right? Rent out your mobile home on your land and use the exact same sample, the exact example that I was just saying earlier. You put a renter in, the taxes that you normally pay on that land, include that in the rent. And then now you own a property and the renter is paying for the mobile home. I mean, to stay there, you probably already own it, but he's paying for the taxes on that land. So you're never paying taxes legally. Nonstop Dre said, I just realized having a mortgage is like paying rent, living in a prison cell. Thoughts? It counts on, you don't have to put yourself in a prison. You can buy a house that you can afford via mortgage, but you only get the mortgage that's the best one on the market, the only one. There's only one. You go to the biggest bank in your city and find out which one that is, and make it up in your mind that that's the only one you will accept. And then you go from there. And you buy a house that you can afford. It won't be your prison because you can afford it. Wealthy people, Juan says, wealthy people don't put wealth in their cars. No, you can't put wealth in a car anyway. So no, they don't do that. A car is just a car. It's not an asset. I hear people calling cars assets all the time. No, it's not. It's nothing close to an asset at all. And you hear that. I hear that all the time. I hear it all the time on channels. People be saying it in chat rooms. Oh, my assets, my car. I'd be like, why are you calling your car an asset? That makes no sense to me. But if you're saying that, that's telling me that you don't know, because if you knew, you would never say that. See what I'm saying? So if I hear somebody call a car an asset, I just say, okay, they're kind of telling me about their money, because if you knew about money, you would never call a car an asset ever. David the Goat says, I remember once you said there was a good mortgage to ask for because they almost never give it out. What was it? Oh, the best top rate mortgage on the market. That's it. Whatever that is. I mean, it's 2020. Just Google it. Say Google best rate home mortgages. Whatever that best rate one is, that's the one that's going to be hard to get, because you got to meet all the qualifications, all the requirements. You got to meet them all. There's a lot. You got to meet them. And there's a reason why you got to meet them. Okay. And if you can meet them, they know, the bank will know that you know. That's it. Valchuk. Linnell, thank you. Please always remain genuine. With so many misinformation agents out there, it's very easy to listen to the wrong people. Predators, I'm so glad I found your channel. I appreciate that. Thank you. Thank you so much. And there is no other way I'm going to be. There is no other way I can be. And again, if you're new to my channel, the only thing I'm using is the math I learned in grade school. That's it. That's it. I'm not doing anything fancy. If you're in debt, don't worry about the stock market. Don't worry about investments. Don't worry about Apple stock and Amazon stock. Don't worry about any of that. You're in debt. Your number one priority, get yourself out of debt first. Once you're out of debt, you can hear all the fakers. You can see them. You can hear and see the fakers. They're crystal clear how they speak debt. They don't know they speak debt, but they do. Okay. I always try to give you guys some hints of people who are in debt. This is the biggest one. This is the easiest one. If you're around somebody that looks like they have money, this is what I want you to do. I want you to bring up the student loan crisis and say, oh my God, man, student loan is out of control. This is how I want you to respond. Say it just like this, right? Oh my God, man, these student loans, man, they are not they're not trying to get rid of the student loan. Just say all that, right? Around the person that you believe have money. If they turn to you and get emotionally involved in what you just said, they're in debt. They have student loan debt. Because people that are not in student loan debt, we barely pay attention to the student loan debt crisis because it has nothing to do with us. So when it's brought up, oh man, the student loan debt is getting out of control, I'll just go, oh, okay. Oh, it is? Oh, I didn't know. See, we don't get emotionally involved. If somebody you know gets emotionally involved, they are in debt. They're fooling you. It looks like they're rich, but they're not. Especially if you know the year they graduated college and they're still talking about their student loan debt, they are in debt. It makes absolutely no sense to go to college for 4 years, but pay on your student loan for 20. That makes absolutely no mathematical sense whatsoever in any country in the world. But yet people believe it's normal. We must have those type of people in the society in order for me to remain rich, in order for me to remain wealthy. The majority must remain in debt, believing that they're going to get ahead by financing cars, clothes, houses, red bottoms, Rolex watches, whatever, vacations. Because every time they finance, they're financing the taxes too. They're getting taxed twice, one they can see and one they cannot see. That's why it's not really that expensive to live outside the debt matrix. It's just cheap. The world is not expensive. No, it's not. Things are not expensive. You can live anywhere in the country you wish. It doesn't matter. Housing market prices, once you're out of debt, housing market prices will no longer apply to you. They only apply to those who are in debt. That's it. Housing market prices will never apply to you, only when you sell. When you sell, you sell it at the market value. But when it's time to buy, you don't. You don't buy, because there's more people that believe as long as there are people that believe they're homeowners with 30-year mortgages, housing market prices will never apply to you. They don't apply to me. I don't care what a price on a house is. That means absolutely nothing to me. Nothing. I don't drive by a house that I like and pull out the price tag on the house. That doesn't mean anything to me. I'm not paying that. I don't care what it is. And all I got to do is listen to the owner, listen to him speak. As soon as I hear him speak debt, I got him. I'll get the house at the price I want. Juan says electric car might be a Tesla. Yeah, Teslas are electric. Nicer says, I own the land that my husband left me. I'd like to buy a mobile home after I pay off my debt and have enough to save to buy one paid in full. I'd say like this, pay off your debt. Mobile homes are not that expensive. It's okay to get a loan for it. You'll have that paid off quickly, especially if you already own the land. Do it. Okay. But only get the best top rate mortgage on the market. That's all I say. Juan says no more gas, but if you have to finance a Tesla, it doesn't matter. People, check it out, Juan. People that finance Teslas really believe they're saving money on gas. No, they're not. No, they're not. They're not saving money on gas. They just believe they are. If you finance a car, you're not. If you finance a Tesla, you're not saving money on gas. Okay, that's a trick. People in debt are so easily fooled. They are so easily fooled. If you finance a Tesla, you're not saving money on gas. Juan says, I drive an 07 car that I own. I'm not upgrading unless I'm paying cash. Don't ever pay anything other than cash for a car, ever. I don't even want to add up how many cars I've financed throughout my life. Because I was in the debt matrix. I didn't know I was doing it. But once I got out of it, let me tell you guys something. If you follow my plan, right, you get out of debt. This is something that's going to happen to you. Once you get out of debt and you realize all you had to do was trust your own math, you're going to reflect all the way back. You're going to reflect about everything you ever financed in your life. And you're going to be like, oh my God. I didn't know every time I financed something, I was financing the taxes too. I didn't know I knew they were going by my gross income, but I never did the math. I was like, never once did I stop and say, why are they going by my gross income? I never did that. You know what I used to think? Oh man, if they go by my gross income, I can get more car, more house. That was the stupidest, most idiotic thinking ever. That makes absolutely no sense. But guess what? That's exactly how they wanted me to think. They wanted me to think just like the way I was thinking about the gross income that I made. If they went by my gross income, that meant I can get more house, more car, let alone gross income mean I don't even get that money. So I would go up in car, even though I got less in income, already created the gap. And I don't even got the keys in my hand, already there. And then you add in financing the car at a percentage rate. And then since I didn't have the money for the car, I didn't have the money for the taxes. So I financed the taxes too. I got taxed twice. And I haven't even drove off the lot. People in debt believe a car goes down in value when you drive it off the lot. No, it doesn't. Nowhere near that. It goes down in value before you even have the keys in your hand. But people in debt don't know that. But it must be this way. It must be this way. That's the only way. There's two economies. There's one that people in debt see, and there's one that people out of debt see. There's two. This one controls that one, though. Not vice versa. Not vice versa. This economy that the majority cannot see controls that economy that the majority see. I promise you. One says facts. Valchuk says these YouTube financial gurus, fake gurus, are misinformed agents. They know their advice is BS. It's very difficult to find genuine information. This is how you filter through the fakers. Trust your mathematics. Just trust math. Is anything they're saying make mathematical sense? If it doesn't make mathematical sense, then it's not true. It doesn't. And Valchuk, it's very difficult to see if they are doing it on purpose or they're just doing what they've been told. Okay, it's very difficult. The only way I'll know is by seeing the personal credit report. They can't lie about that. That cannot be faked. Okay, and if it can, you got some connections. But the average person cannot fake that. Okay. Valchuk says, Linnell, it's very easy to fool people due to all the technical and equivocal language they use to trick people, legal jargon that only a specific kind of lawyer may be able to understand. Again, Valchuk, listen, those big words. Those are just words. Okay. This is what I want you to never forget. When you hear fancy financial words, this is what I want you to think. Whatever they're saying doesn't make mathematical sense. It doesn't matter the word they're saying. It doesn't. It doesn't matter the words they're saying. Whatever is coming out of their mouth, does it make mathematical sense? If it doesn't make mathematical sense, it doesn't matter what they're saying. It doesn't. They're just yip yapping. They're just talking. That doesn't make any sense. Don't listen to people in debt. They make up words. Math doesn't understand words. Math understands numbers. Okay. Jared says, I'm not in debt and make over 100K a year. I choose to rent an apartment because I'd rather work on multiple streams of income and use cash for everything. Exactly, Jared. Do your thing, man. Do your thing. Do it the way you want to do it. Do not take advice from people in debt. They want you to be like them. If you ever want to know quality financial advice, ask to see their personal credit report. And when you ask that, I know it's an uncomfortable question. Even if you ask them, hey, let me see your personal credit report first, they're going to tell you their credit score. And then you got to stop them. This is what they just naturally do. They're programmed to blurt out their credit score like it means something. It means nothing. Okay. Then you're going to have to stop them. You're going to say, no, not your credit score, your entire credit report, all three. I want to see it. Oh, you want to see mine? Here's mine. Here you go. I'll show you mine if you show me yours. Gladly. Juan Sean says they hope you finance for more than you can afford because they know they'll get it back and repeat the cycle with the next so-called car owner and homeowner. Yeah, that's how it works. Hey, it's business. I ain't hating on them. That's exactly what they do. It's nothing, and they're not doing anything bad. I want you guys to understand this. They're not doing anything bad. This is a legal business. It's up to people and their choices to choose to believe math or don't. Okay, that's it. Jared said, the dealership gave me a lifetime warranty on my car's engine and transmission after I told them I would pay cash. Yeah. It works, doesn't it? That's where I go. Anywhere I get some major work done, I say, hey, they quote me a price. I say, hey, how much for cash? 9 times out of 10, it goes down. Hey, hey, I get the same service for a quarter of the price. I'll do that with cash, because people in debt don't have cash. They pull out the credit card to pay for everything. They have to pay top dollar for everything. When you have cash, when you're not in debt, you have money. Okay. This is and people ask, what do I do? Okay. What do I do is create a debt-free financial plan for you to get out of debt, pay off your debt. I create you a plan to pay off debt. Once you pay off debt, once you learn what I teach you, this will be generational. You will teach your children and all your family members that will listen to you, but you will also know you'll be very lonely over here. It's not that many people over here. So you're going to have to keep most of what you know to yourself, because they're not going to understand what you're saying. They're gonna think you're trying to talk about them. They're gonna think you are somehow, you're talking as if you're better than them. No, you just want to tell them, no, I'm just trying to show you some mathematics. Will you pay attention? They're not going to listen to you, and it must be that way. Okay, it must be. Juan says, every payment you would have made for a car loan, you could have saved up to take care of car maintenance on a car you own. And plus, you got to remember too, Juan, when I buy cars, I don't buy cars from car lots. I buy from the car I want from a person in debt for half the price with cash. Okay. Car values when you're out of debt, car values don't matter to you either. I don't care what a website that a car's value is. That doesn't mean anything to me. That's only for people in debt. I don't pay that price ever. Cars are things, houses are things, watches are things, shoes are things. Those are things. They're not even worth the price that you're paying. Not saying that the car is actually not worth it. When I'm saying it doesn't really cost that much to make a shoe. It doesn't really cost that much to make a car. You know, the company is just saying, hey, this is what we feel this car is worth. And I just don't feel the same way. That's it. Nothing more than that. So this is what I do. If I do want that car, I let a person in debt go and finance it, drive it for a year or two, and then get to a point to where he can't afford it, or they get a divorce or lose their job or lay off, whatever. And then he's ready just to get out of it because he can't afford it anymore. And he doesn't want to ruin his credit. And I give him half the cost for the money, and he'll take it. Half the money for the car, and he'll take it. So you guys have any questions? We're about an hour and 15 minutes into it. Any other questions? Any other questions? It's Saturday afternoon right now. Hope you guys are enjoying this one. I hope you guys like my video reviews. If you guys have any other ideas, what you guys would like me to show you or tell you or share with you, please don't hesitate to shoot me your ideas. By the way, I'm going to be getting my t-shirts. They said my t-shirts should be here by Wednesday. Okay. And I'm going to have sizes from small to extra large. Okay. And once I get the shirts here, I'm going to start calculating the price, and I'll let you guys know the price of the t-shirts. Okay. But I got to calculate it first. But and if you're new to my channel, please don't forget to hit that like button. If you like my channel and want to share it, this is all you got to do is share it with them. This is all you got to tell them. Tell them to Google #SavingsMinusDebt. You don't have to go through, tell them my name. I'm on YouTube. Tell them to Google #SavingsMinusDebt. I will be the only person that populates in that result. Okay. Then they'll click on me. They'll click on one of my videos, and then I'm sure they'll like it and save or subscribe right from there. But that's all you have to do. Tell them to Google #SavingsMinusDebt, and I will be the only one that pops up. Okay. Let me scroll that along the bottom there. Juan says, in my opinion, I think the average vehicle costs about $10,000 to make. I mean, it counts on what kind of car you're talking about, Quentin. There's a whole bunch of different models of cars out there. So you got to. Juan Sean says, consolidate student loans or just pay the regular payment. Just pay them off. Consolidation is not free. Okay. I don't want you to fool yourself, because a lot of people that consolidate loans believe they have extra money because of the consolidation, and then they dig themselves deeper in debt. Don't consolidate your loans. Just pay them off. That way That way, when you're paying them off, you know you don't have any extra money. Okay, you know every dime is going to student loan debt. Because if you consolidate it, you're gonna trick yourself and believe you now have more money at the end of the month, when in actuality you're deeper in debt. But if you believe you have extra money at the end of the month, you'll start spending money like that, and you really don't. So don't consolidate. Plus, again, it's not free. Okay. Any other questions? Again, all my ideas need to come from you guys, because I'm living. Sometimes I forget, because I've been living on the debt-free side of things for quite a while now, for quite a few years, and sometimes I start to forget about things that happen in the debt matrix, because that's not part of my daily life. So I start to forget certain things. So if you guys like the video reviews, like the way I translate them, if you come across some videos that you might be watching financially now, and you're kind of on the fence about this person that you're watching, if you want me to do a review of that video, I will, so I can tell you if that person's telling you the mathematically correct way or not. Okay, because I don't want to call them right or wrong, because if they're telling you about some kind of debt vehicle like FHA mortgage, just like the video I reviewed today, he's not saying anything wrong. Okay, he's exactly right when he's talking about FHA mortgages, their restrictions, their low down payments, the DTI. He's telling you all the correct, but I'm trying to tell you that he's only talking to people who are in debt. Okay. All right. Have a fantastic day, Nicer. Have a good one. Any other questions before we cut this short here? We're about almost an hour and 20 minutes into it. Any other questions? Any other questions? Let me throw this banner up here. Here for donations, here's my Cash App, SavingsMinusDebt, and here is my PayPal, paypal.me/Lonnell, Lonnell, for those of you that may be listening in your cars. All right. And here's my Facebook, facebook.com/debt-ain't-my-daddy. That's my Facebook page, where I put a lot of memes and stuff up there. And I got an Instagram, SavingsMinusDebt is my Instagram. SavingsMinusDebt on Instagram. Okay. I'm slowly switching from Debt Ain't My Daddy to SavingsMinusDebt. Okay. All right. Let me get rid of some of these things here. All right. All right. Here we go. Juan says, would it be wise to borrow from equity in your house or just sell escape? Let me tell you what you just asked me. Juan, you're really asking me, should you borrow money from the bank? And I'm not sure why because you're saying borrow money or sell the house. Those are your only. I mean, one puts you deeper in debt, one gets you out of debt. If you sell your house, you're out of debt. If you borrow equity, you're further deeper in debt. So it's totally up to you. Jared says, is this a daily show we will be doing? No, not daily. I'm on like every other day, but sometimes I feel it twice a day. It's random. It counts on how I feel, but this is a consistent thing. Okay. It's not every single day, but it's consistent. I make videos almost every other day, 3, 4 video, 5, sometimes 6 videos a week. Okay. So it's just random. Just if you guys are new, don't forget to hit that alert bell, so you'll get alerts right away when I come on live, because I pretty much only do lives. I don't rarely upload videos. I feel it, come on and say it, so I can interact with you guys. And so when you guys ask questions, it's much better for the interaction. TJ Momo says, maybe I missed it, but did you say how to get out of PMI? Yeah, you can refinance your refinance out of an FHA into a conventional. That's how you get out of it. Okay. And there's certain restrictions. I mean, that's how you do it. So this refinance out of an FHA into a conventional mortgage, right? Go to a bank. They're going to give you a list of requirements for you to do that. Okay. And they're going to say, in order for you to do that, you must meet these requirements. You take those requirements and you figure out how to meet each one. And then you come back into the bank and you say, okay, bank, I'm ready. All right, let's refinance out of it. And then you're done. Okay. All right. Any other questions? Any other questions? Juan, if you have an FHA mortgage, you need to get out from it. You do need to get out from under that FHA mortgage. You're never going to own that house. I don't want you walking around thinking or calling yourself a homeowner, because you're not. You know, it's not true. Anybody with any type of mortgage, let alone an FHA mortgage, they're not a homeowner. Okay, they're just renting from the bank. Okay, they're renting from the bank. That's it. Nothing more than that. Doesn't matter how they feel about it. Whatever. Doesn't matter. Math says it to be true, and if math says it's true, it's true. Okay. Everything outside of that are feelings. How they feel about it. If they feel like a homeowner, they just feel like one. They're not a homeowner. They are a loan owner. Okay, there's a difference. There's homeowners and there's loan owners. People with mortgages are loan owners. Okay. Yes, Mike. Q&A Sunday is tomorrow. Yes, we are. Hyphy. Q&A Sundays is tomorrow. So get your questions ready. How long we stay on will be totally up to you guys, as long as the questions come. I know I do a lot of talking, but I get tired of doing all the talking. I want to answer some questions, okay? Nicer says, you ever look more into an online boot camp to get debt free, like have 10 slots and a person has their slot up to 6 months to get a solid routine to pay off? Let me read it. I'm gonna read that slow, Nicer, so I can gather what you're saying. You ever look more into an online boot camp to get debt free, like have 10 slots and a person has their slot up to 6 months to get a solid routine to pay off what they owe? You know, it all counts on it's very, that'd be kind of different, difficult, Nicer, because everybody is in different amounts of debt. Okay. Some people are in debt without student loans. There are some people that are deep in debt with student loans. So it would definitely take, and you can't get out of student loan debt unless you pay it off. So I get what you're saying, but it would have to be a person in a particular type of, because people without student loans, they would have to go into one category. People that are deep in student loans, they would have to go into a different category, because pretty much that's going to take them years to get out of debt. So Quentin says, good, your t-shirts are coming out on Wednesday. Save me one. When we meet up in a few weeks, I'll get mine. Okay, cool. You got to tell me what size you want, Quentin. Email me your size, because if you just tell me now, I'll forget. So email me your size, because I got from small all the way up to extra large. Okay, so I'm testing it out, see how they sell, and then if they do good, I'm gonna come out with different shirts with different sayings on the back. The front is always going to be the same. Google hashtag SavingsMinusDebt. So when a person walks up, they're going to see it and they're going to be like, what does that mean? And then the front of the shirt will tell them right away what to do. So they're going to pull out their phone, because they're going to be curious what happens when they Google that hashtag. And when they come across it, they'll come across my videos. And then when they see the back of the shirt, they'll see equals the money you have in real life, or whatever statement I put on the back. They're going to be like, what? Savings minus debt. And then hopefully they'll put it together. If not, they still will go to my videos on, they still will Google me and find my videos, and then they will know exactly what the meaning is on the back of the shirt. But outside of that, they'll never know what that meaning is unless they come to my videos. They will never understand it. Okay. Valchuk, people would just finance the, you know what, Valchuk, this is different though. If somebody, because I'm not against credit cards, I'm not against investing in something that's going to improve you, okay? Especially financially. If you invest in me, even if you had to run a credit card to do it, it's going to, what I give you in return is going to pay you tenfold of your investment into me. I promise you, that's the best way I can put it. Have a good day, Brian. See you later. David the Goat says, what do you think about investing? I want to invest in something now to hopefully have enough to buy a house later. I really don't talk about investing. I didn't want people to. I'm not an investor. I'm not a qualified investor. I just know how to pick the right investor. Okay. And how, when it's time for me to invest outside of myself, because right now, the only person I'm investing in is the only vehicle person is just me. I'm only investing in me. Okay. I'm the only one that can make enough money fast enough to live the way I want to live. I'm the only person that can do that. Okay. So I invest in me. I don't really like when it's time for me to choose an investor, I'm going to ask to see that investor's personal credit report. His personal credit report will tell me if he or she has even invested in themselves. If they haven't invested in themselves, they can't tell me how to invest in myself if they haven't even invested in themselves. So I won't even use them. I'll use somebody whose credit report looks like mine. If the investor's credit report looks like my credit report, I'm going to invest in him because every penny will be worth it. I promise you. Okay. Juan says, in the media, they talk about the middle class a lot. You need 50K just to be there. If that's the case, then they should have a lower class category because everybody's not there. Juan, when you get out of debt matrix, you'll realize classes don't exist. That's middle class, rich, middle class, poor. Those classes, those things only exist for people in debt. You notice they never put wealthy in that class. Wealthy is like a class of its own because it's different. It's nothing like those three classes that you believe. Like they need, like here you said, they need everybody's not here. They need another class. Why do you think that? What classes should that be, Juan? You can make it up right now and it can be any class that you wish because those classes are made up. Those are all made up. Those don't even exist. They're not real. They're not real. Like, say, for example, somebody makes 200,000, like somebody makes $150,000. That would probably put them in middle class, right? But what if that person that makes $150,000, he has a $300,000 house, two $50,000 cars, he's got credit cards, he got student loans, he's way in debt more than he makes. So does it really matter where his class is if he's $500,000 in debt? Because according to math, he's broke. But to the outside world, this made up middle class, since he makes $150,000, he goes here. That's a made up class. It's made up. If you believe it's there, you just believe it's there. Brian Finney says, why do you think people who have a mortgage look down on someone who is renting when there really is no difference? Most will never rally on their own home they're paying for. People in debt do things like that. That's only people in debt do things like that. Look down on people who are renting. It doesn't, because people with mortgages don't understand that they're only renting from the bank. The only thing they removed, like when they were renting, there was you, the owner, and the bank. Okay. Once they believe the myth of mortgage is the same in rent, all they do is remove the owner, and now it's just them and the bank. It's no different, but they believe since they're not paying the owner, they're no longer renting. But for some reason, if they pay the same amount of money to the bank, they believe they own it. It doesn't, I don't know. I don't know why they think like that. It doesn't make any sense to me. That's why I slow down and talk like that, because I'm trying to make it make sense in my head. It still doesn't make any sense. Nicer says people in weight loss boot camps only have 15 pounds to lose are going to free up their slot faster than someone who has to lose 100. Exact. Oh, okay. That's why I said have a 6-month time limit for a boot. Oh, gotcha. Okay. Okay. I have to write that out nicer because I'm just kind of like going by what you're reading, but I'm more a visual person. I got to see. I kind of get an idea what you're talking about, but that sounds like people in weight loss have 15 months. Going to feel faster than someone else. 100. That's why I said have a 6-month time limit for a boot camp. Okay. Gotcha. Okay. Okay. Cherry says, what are your thoughts on the flipping houses with no money down fade? It seems to be what a lot of people are trying to do. Also, I see a lot of people buying houses for cash signs. I'm not saying flipping houses is bad, but I'm just saying if you're going to take your advice from somebody that's flipping houses right now, if you know somebody that's flipping houses right now and they look like they're doing good, if you want to get into that business, tell them that you want to get into that business and say, before I do that, I want to see your personal credit report because I want to that their personal credit report will show if they really are doing as good as you believe they're doing. Okay, that's the best way I can say that. For example, I want you guys to understand that a person's title, salary, what they do for a living, none of that matters. Okay, none of that matters. So let me give an example so you can understand, so you can kind of get an idea of what I mean. Why it doesn't matter how much money a person makes. Okay, everybody probably knows a drug dealer. Not everybody, the majority, some people, not everybody. Some people know somebody that sells drugs, okay, illegally. Now, here's a person making a lot of money and not even paying taxes. Okay, they're not paying taxes. They're not participating in the system. They're not doing anything. And they're stacking their money tax-free, right? How many of those drug dealers are making car payments? There's somebody you know out there selling drugs and they're making car payments. That makes absolutely no sense. That's why it doesn't matter the amount of money you make. It doesn't matter. Everybody knows somebody that's illegally selling drugs, making car payments. That's why it doesn't matter. Drug dealer, doctor, lawyer, pharmacist, janitor, school teacher. It doesn't matter. None of that matters. People just don't understand it. It doesn't matter. They think the more money they make, that'll help them out. But no, when people in debt make more money, guess what they think? This is how they think. Oh, I can afford bigger payments. And then they go get a bigger house and a bigger car and more clothes and more kids. It just goes on and on. Nicer says, I don't believe in classes because I grew up in public housing, but I have the same opportunity to build wealth as anyone else. Yeah, classes are made up. They don't exist. Just like, and what I'm telling you guys is outside the debt matrix. It probably won't make sense to you what I'm saying. Okay, and it's okay that you don't believe it or it doesn't matter. But poor, middle class, rich, those classes don't exist. What else don't exist? God, I had it right on the tip of my tongue. Oh, 40-hour work weeks, they don't exist. Who made up 40-hour work weeks? I don't know. I just grew up hearing that's what it was supposed to be. So I just did it, right? Anything over 40 is overtime. Says who? Who's saying that? Who says that? People that look forward to the weekend, the reason why they look forward to the weekend is because they hate their jobs. That's why they're looking forward for the weekend. If you did something you love, you wouldn't care about Saturday or Sunday. I don't care what day of the week it is. I don't care. I don't care if it's Saturday, Friday, Monday, Tuesday, hump day. It doesn't matter to me. Days of the week no longer matter. The reason why they dread Sunday nights, Mondays, because they hate their job. But the only people that hate their jobs are usually in debt. That's why they hate their job, because why would anybody work at a place they hate? Because they're in debt. They have no choice. They believe they don't have any choice. All they got to do is choose to pay off their debt, and then they wouldn't ever work at a place they hate. But since you're in debt, that's what you believe your choice is. Juan says the owner won't rent out for a small amount. They want profit. When you're dealing with the bank, you pay the small amount up front, but in the long term, you pay more. I'm not quite sure what you're saying there, Sean, but if you get the best mortgage and you don't have the cash, there's only two options to buy a house. Cash is number one. Two is the best mortgage on the market, nothing less. That's it. Those are the only two options. First option is cash. Second option is whatever the best mortgage is on the market of the year 2020. If to this year you're going to buy a house, whatever that mortgage is, that's the only one you will accept. That's it. There's only two. All right. Any other questions? Any other questions? Nicer says, I'll email you, LJ, but to simply put, it's building a module that you can apply to 10 people at the same time, a better alternative than doing individual consultation. Okay, yeah, please email me that, Nicer. I really would appreciate that, because this is all new to me. I don't know how to I'm still learning how to do things. And you know, you decide to get out in your own business, this is how you're gonna come across. All you gotta do for like this. This is what I say, you guys. Don't put the cart in front of the horse. Find out what your passion is first. Find out whatever your passion is. Look for that first. Don't worry about how much money is going to come from it. Don't worry if it's gonna make you enough money to live. Whatever that passion is, once you find that passion, then you grow from there. People will see it when it's your passion because it'll be unlike any other person on. I'm unlike anybody on YouTube. How can I make this claim? Am I just bragging? No, I'm not bragging. Oh, we got a big ego. I'm not saying anything about an ego. I'm just saying because I trust mathematics. That's the only reason why I know I'm going to be big. I trust math and the majority of people don't. That's how I know. I'd be giving everybody the answers. Tesla stock. I have no idea. I know nothing, Juan. I know nothing about investing. Nothing. I don't even look. I don't look at the stock market. I don't look at any investments. I don't look at what's trending. I don't look at any of that. That has nothing to do with me. Nothing. Only person I'm investing is me. I am the only concern about investing. I am investing in me. There is no other vehicle on earth that is going to get me to multimillionaire status faster than me. Okay? Because I want it. I made up in my mind. That's what I'm going to do. So I'm going to do it. So I would say, Juan, go look for a professional investor. But this is what I say. Whoever you choose, make sure you see their personal credit report, because if somebody's telling you to invest while they have student loans that are older than their children, they're missing a major piece of investing in themselves first. They haven't invested in themselves first. They're disrespecting their own money. So never believe that somebody's going to treat your money better than their own. That will never happen, ever. No one on earth will ever do that. Okay? Always remember that. SR said it would be better to invest in mutual funds. I think that's for you, Juan. Juan says, so instead of putting 10% in a 401k, that should go into savings. No. Mm-mm. No, sir. No. This is what people in debt can't see. 401k, the people in debt look for the match. HSA, health savings account, they don't even pay attention to that. Mm-mm. This is what you can't see. This is called phantom income. The majority of people in debt, this is what I'm about to tell you, is mathematically impossible for the majority of people who are in debt. So they don't believe it. They can't see it. They have no idea what phantom income is. Phantom income is only phantom to those whom are in debt. If you had the money and you was out of debt, you could max out your 401k this year at $19,500. Okay. You get to put $19,500 in your retirement. Not only do you get to do that, in the same year, you get to take $19,500 off of your annual income, which will drop you in the tax bracket that you are in. Since the majority of people are in debt, they cannot take advantage of this, so they must remain high in their tax bracket, meaning they must pay more in taxes. Not only do you get to put away money in your retirement, you get to drop $19,500 in your tax bracket, which means you pay lower in taxes. The difference between the people that can't and you that can, there's money. That's called phantom income. Now you jump on the HSA, health savings account. If you have a family, I think it's up to $7,000 or something around there. So $19,500 and an additional $7,000, that even lowers you further in your tax bracket. And then when you get an HSA and then you have out-of-pocket medical expenses, guess what? You get to pay for out-of-pocket medical expenses with 100% of your dollar, not 70% of your dollar, 100%. The money in taxes that you don't pay, that the majority do pay, is money in your pocket. Phantom income. You see that? That might be over some people's head, but mathematically it makes sense. All you got to do is do the math and you'll see that it's true. Okay. All right. SR says savings account don't yield as much as interest as other forms of investment. 401k is not even about the investment. Look at it this way, you guys, if you're listening. No investment that you think, mutual funds, all this other stuff, no one will say you get guaranteed ROI on any of them. Anything you invest in the stock market, anything outside of you, I want you to ask that investor, hey, if I invest in this Apple stock or whatever stock, Tesla stock, whatever, is that guaranteed money, guaranteed return, ROI, guaranteed return on my investment? They're going to tell you no. If you max out your 401k, guess what? That is guaranteed ROI. The guaranteed ROI is the tax savings every single year that you do it. Every single year. That's guaranteed. That's called phantom income. People in debt can't see that. SR says, look for a high yield savings account. Any other questions? Any other questions? These are very good questions. Those of you that are new to my channel, my name is LJ Young, and I'm a 100% debt-free, conscious motivational speaker and personal finance educator. I help people become financially free by helping them financially see. So welcome to my channel. This is the SMD family, Savings Minus Debt family. You can come here and ask any financial question you wish, only on personal finances. I know nothing, absolutely nothing about investing. I'm not claiming to be an investor. I know nothing about the stock market. I know nothing about mutual funds. I know nothing. Okay, just to make sure that's clear. I am not an investor, nor I'm telling you, if you want to invest, hey, go right ahead. I know nothing about investing. That's why I bring people on that do know about investing. I don't even want to know about investing. I know how to pick the right people to invest for me. That's too much information. I don't want to know that. I don't want to know about the markets going up and down and doing all those funny numbers across the bottom of the screen and when the time to pull and put back and all that. I don't want to know all that. I just know the right people to do it. That's it. I'll just pick the right person. You know that? How do I know that? Let me see your personal credit report. You're an investor? Let me see your credit report. Yeah, okay, I trust you. Do it. Okay. Any other questions? Any other questions? Thank you, everyone. We're going to wrap it up here. Thank you, everyone, for who participated today. Nicer, Juan, SR, much appreciated. I'm not sure if you're still in here, Mark, but Jared, Brian, David, Hyphy, Mike, Rambo. I always have a problem saying that name. Quentin, you guys have a wonderful day. I'm out of here. Let's see. Oh, got one more. Juan says, you believe in relationships where the man works, but the woman doesn't? I don't know. For me, my mindset right now, I just go like this. Anybody you choose better have the same financial mindset as you, or else it's not going to work. If you get somebody who's financially free with a person that's in debt and don't care about being in debt, that'll never work. I would never date a woman that's in debt and didn't care about being in debt. I would never do that. That would be a total waste of time. Total waste of time. If they had a bunch of student loans and thought they would start calling them forever loans and never thought about if they could ever pay them off and don't believe they can ever pay them off, it'll be a total waste of time to have a relationship with them. Doesn't matter. So I would never have a relationship with a woman who's in debt and don't care about being in debt. So that would never come about, I guess. So any other questions? All right, then we're going to wrap this up. Thank you for joining. Please don't forget to hit that subscribe. Please, please, please don't forget to hit that like button. Thank you very much. And you guys have a wonderful, wonderful Saturday. Okay. Bye-bye.